Well, good evening, Pine School community, and thank you for coming together this evening for our annual general meeting. This meeting and program is an opportunity for those of us sharing in the leadership of the Pine School to report out on past progress and certainly look to the future for what we have in store. We're going to begin our program by hearing from we're going to begin our program with some well-deserved thanks and updates on our next year's Parents Association. Starting this coming year, John Boyer in the Development Office will serve as the main liaison between the Parents Association and the school. And John, I want to thank you for taking on that responsibility. And without further ado, the podium's yours.
Thank you, Benny. The Pine School Parents Association this year demonstrated remarkable flexibility and resilience as many of our traditional events had to be put on hold or in some cases completely rethought. The association leadership of Allison Meads, Molly Markulix, and Kat Altschuler, they did a phenomenal job really pivoting where necessary to continue to engage with volunteers in an unprecedented time on our campus. As a school, we are grateful for their leadership and all the parent volunteers for their work, whether it was decorating our campus for some of these wonderful holidays that we have, providing parent support in classrooms, running used uniform sales, or providing the much needed campus improvements such as the new picnic tables that we've seen outside. Our school is only as strong as our parent support. And so for that and for the year that the Parents Association has had, we are unbelievably grateful. Allison, I would like, if you're here, to make just a couple of comments.
Okay. You'll see I have some notes here. This is so I don't forget anyone after yesterday. Yesterday we had a celebration for our committee chairs and grade liaisons and people who've done a lot of volunteering this year. And unfortunately I forgot to invite somebody. And that somebody was Billy. So I figured I need notes today, okay? So as John said, it has really been a year of minimalism this year with our activities and our officers. We used to have 7 and now we have 3. Well, Kat was actually not an officer, but we sort of co-opted her. So thanks to Kat for stepping up. I'm just going to run through the few things that did happen. We started in the summer with our used uniforms and used textbook sales in the gym. We had all the tables nicely spaced out, had everyone come in shifts, so it was nice to be able to do that. And it was also important this year, particularly when we didn't have all our onboarding events, to have some welcoming faces there who could answer questions in person and reassure people who had concerns. So I want to thank all of those volunteers who were prepared to come in at that time. I really want to also recognize Shelley Tuchon, who has run that used textbook sale since we started it. And that was actually just the latest in a whole line of volunteer roles that Shelley has held. She's been treasurer of the PA, she's been the school store chair, she's been team mom, I don't know how many times. So just want to thank Shelley for all the things she's done over the years. And as Shelley moves on from the Pine School, just want to wish her and the rest of the Tuchon family all the best. Next up was Halloween, which was certainly not as lavish as it usually is on campus. We did manage to have the pumpkin contest, so Stacey McElroy, Molly, and Kat were the ones who worked on that, so thanks to them. And also our campus decor, which John mentioned, thanks to go to Kim Morton and her crew. Kim was very keen that we actually do some decorating, make it look more normal for our students and faculty. So kudos to them for that one. We moved into holiday season and of course couldn't do our traditional bake sale, which the students all love, or the ugly sweater social for our parents. We did distribute cookies on campus from the PA, but not the huge bagfuls our students usually grab at the bake sale. So I'm sure they're looking forward to that coming back next year. January saw volunteers allowed to come back and staff the school store, which I know made the business office very, very happy because they had been doing it since the beginning of the year. So from my own experience, I know getting your students out of bed early enough is the biggest challenge with that one. So thanks to everybody who did that. And particularly Lauren Thomas, who took on scheduling the volunteers, which made me happy because I have done it for the last 3 years. Off-campus education week was a bit reduced this year, but I think we were all just grateful that we had it at all. So the PA was able to provide tote bags full of treats for our chaperones to enjoy when they had a little bit of well-deserved downtime. So thanks to Kat for being the power behind that one. We were all happy to see a lower school musical take place. Thanks to Nassim Hessler, who took on the task of supporting Megan Alvarado with decorations for the stage and props. So thanks, Nassim. I know she's in here. I can't see the glasses on that part. Usually we would have held a book fair during that same week, but book fair is coming next week. So thanks in advance to everyone who has already signed up to help with that. And everyone, please support that. It's a great event for the school, and everything we raise from that is recycled straight back into our classrooms or our libraries. So please come and shop. Another group I want to thank is our grade liaisons or room moms in the lower school. They make that effort every week to keep us all informed, which I know we all appreciate. So I just want to thank Kat again, because she was the one who was the coordinator of that group this year. A couple of parent-led activities I really want to give a shout out to this year. In our lower school, we saw a Girl Scout troop started. It was great to see those girls on their first camp out, having fun outside with their friends. So I just want to say a big thank you to Catherine Dickinson and Selena Suarez, who were behind that effort and got that going. The other activity I want to let everybody know and just raise a vote of thanks for, when we couldn't do our normal faculty appreciation events that we would have done, the Super Bowl party, Cinco de Mayo, even our monthly hugs, treats around campus. There was still a feeling that parents really wanted to show our faculty and staff how much appreciation there was for everything they were doing. And so Kelly Gordon and Kat Altschuler were the two people who were really the force behind that initiative called Send Dinner Home. The PA made a small financial contribution, but they really did all the legwork on that, from getting the support from parents, financial donations, organizing the restaurants, parent drivers to deliver the dinner. So that was really very much appreciated by our faculty and staff. So thanks to Kat and Kelly on that one. John mentioned, when we have the funds, we like to do a little capital project. So our picnic tables and benches are there, and we are looking at one more project. Obviously, with so many events canceled, we have a bit of budget to spare this year, so we want to do something that will be of lasting value. So I'm waiting for pricing on that. I know Kelly's working on it. Kelly Carlson, that would be. We have too many Kellys. So we're going to get that done before the end of the financial year. One other commitment we have for this financial year, but which will actually occur next year, is going to be the speaker, Richard Gary. Apologies for the pronunciation. He is from Public and Permanent, and he's an impactful speaker. He talks about the importance of safe operation online, how easily you can get yourself into a position where you can be coerced and manipulated, and even just destroy, future life chances that you may otherwise have had. So we've had him once before. We've canceled him twice because of COVID, but Heidi Kay has been doing a great job trying to get him signed up for September, and there is going to be an opportunity for parents to come to that too, and I would really urge you to do that. So final thing I'm going to say, one final thank you to Kelly Hilton-Green, who has been the PA's point of contact for the last few years. And when he took that on, there were 7 of us on the committee, and we all used to go into his office, full of questions, ideas, vehement opinions. So, I don't know whether to say thank you or congratulations on surviving. And as Kelly steps down, Molly, Kat, and I all step down, and we want to wish good luck to whoever the new officers are. I don't know who most of them are, only 1 or 2. And just remind everybody that if you do have time, everyone is welcome to volunteer. Please do volunteer. And to steal one of Kelly's lines, this school is better for your involvement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison, for your comments, and to all the volunteers this year. It's been again, we're better with our parent involvement. So thank you. So looking ahead to next year, we are eagerly anticipating a cautious return to normalcy for many of our events, many of which will require parent support and involvement. So many of you may recall that a couple of months ago, the development office sent out a volunteer interest form to all of our current families, and we received dozens of responses from parents across all grade levels, eager to help out across a range of different community and fundraising events this year. So That has been very encouraging for us looking ahead to next year. I think that everyone is anxious to start getting more people on campus and doing things the way that we traditionally have here at the Pine School. To that end, I wanted to announce the Parents Association Board going into the 2021-2022 academic year. So many of you are here. If I call your name, will you please just stand up, and then we will recognize you at the end. So our presidents are going to be Nasim and Matt Hessler. Our presidents-elect, and this is going to be a position that's actually a 2-year commitment. So the presidents-elect in this model, they will, in many cases, shadow the presidents, and then they will be ready to step up as presidents next year. The family that has graciously chosen that route is Harold and Danielle Aberman. We're going to have 3 families that are going to serve as vice presidents of each division. So we have vice presidents of the lower school, middle school, and upper school. These are just going to be 1-year terms, but stepping up this year as vice presidents of our lower school are Jessica and Steven Sines. Vice presidents of the middle school are Kitty and Jason Auerbach. And vice presidents of the upper school are Christian and Angelica da Silva. We also have a treasurer, which this year, Kate Bradford, has agreed to step up. And finally, we have a treasurer-elect. Like the presidents-elect, this is also a 2-year term. So, Catherine Dickinson, thank you. Well, thank you again. It's been a great year, and personally, I'm looking forward to my 3rd year at the Pine School next year being one that is the most normal. So it took some time, but thank you.
Thank you so much to our parent community. And there is a Parents Association annual report on the ledge over here, as well as a summary audited financial statement from the school if you'd like to pick those up on your way out. And then the next person I want to invite to speak to the group tonight is our board chair, Liza Hutchinson, for board updates and some trustee thanks. So come on up, Liza.
Thanks, everyone. It's really nice to see everybody's smiling faces and to be together. As Benny said, I'm Liza Hutchinson. I'm the current board chair this year. And as anybody would attest, this year has been very trying for the Pine School. And I'm just really proud of our head of school and our faculty and staff for how they rose to the occasion to educate our kids through a very tough environment. I'm also really proud of the board because we were not always able to meet in person, but I feel like we accomplished a lot this year, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about what we were working on. Like many boards, we operate by a committee system, and we have a committee called the Strategic Initiatives Committee. It was led by Sandra Price, who is a past parent and past teacher. Sandra's here tonight. And our focus was the revising of our mission statement and the creation of a DEIA statement. As it's best practices to review a school's mission statement every 10 years or so, we hadn't done it in probably 20. So it was time. And besides, our mission statement, and probably nobody even knows it, is really indistinct and rather vague. It doesn't really speak to the Pine School's true mission. So I wanted to read it to you tonight, but before I do that, I want to tell you that the impact of it is really powerful because it's what we use to make decisions as a school and as a board, and we use it kind of as a litmus test to any options we face in the future. So we took steps to include the whole school community. Maybe you all took the mission statement survey, but it was distributed to faculty, staff, administration, trustees, and most importantly, parents and kids. And with all that feedback, we tabulated the results, and we came up with a statement that we're really proud of, and I'm going to read it to you. It reads, "The Pine School is an independent college preparatory school educating students in kindergarten through 12th grade. We promote academic, artistic, and athletic excellence in a close-knit learning environment that extends from the classroom to our expansive natural campus and beyond. Our challenging curriculum cultivates intellectual curiosity and honors each student's voice as we strive for inclusivity. From a strong sense of community and connection, Pine School students become inspired and prepared to navigate a complex and changing world." So. A lot of work to get those 4 sentences. The second major task was taken on by the Strategic Initiatives Committee was the creation of a diversity, equity, inclusion, and access statement. And it's always been important that we ensure every student at the Pine School feels safe and supported. We have been and want to continue to be the type of place that's welcoming to all types of students, and we feel that diversity just makes us better as a whole. An appreciation and understanding of others is key to preparing our kids for the greater global environment they're going to face after they leave here. Both the mission statement and the DEIA statement will be featured on our website, and they'll be in our student handbook. Now, as for next year, 2021-2022, we're planning on overhauling our strategic plan and completing our capital campaign for our Arts and Athletic Center. So 2 big projects. And as we close out this year, there are a couple trustees I want to thank who concluded their terms on the board, and that is Rich Kennedy and Colleen Goldman. Is Rich here? Yeah, Rich. Rich has been a trustee for 8 years, and he has served on our finance committee, and he has been instrumental in attending to our endowment policy. So we're really going to miss him. Okay, Colleen Goldman, who doesn't want to come up here, but she has to. Colleen has been a trustee for 5 years. She's the parent of a graduating senior, and she has led our Buildings and Grounds Committee this year. We're really going to miss her too. Okay, that's it for me. Back to Vinny.
All right. Whew. It's the moment that I'm ready to be over with. Well, again, let me welcome you and thank you for taking time out this evening to attend the Pine School's annual general meeting. If you've come to this event before, you know I like to first gather my thoughts by looking at the speech I gave last year. Reading my remarks often gives me perspective on where we've been and what we've accomplished in the intervening months. 2020's annual general meeting was definitely odd. It was virtual with very few of us actually in the room. In last May's speech, after marveling at how quickly we managed to get remote learning up and running and thanking literally every faculty and staff member, I closed by saying how I couldn't hope for a better community to be on this wild ride with. It was ironic to read this closing remark from last year, as just this past week I wrote to my colleagues for Teacher Appreciation Week and noted in that message how glad I was to have them on this ride with me. So I guess a year later, we're still on the ride, navigating education amidst a pandemic. And yet, just to clarify, I don't mean to imply the endless fun and delight of an amusement park kind of ride. No one has been gliding through canals and listening to It's a Small World. The ride has felt at times more like one you might take with a newly licensed 16-year-old, or perhaps Space Mountain, totally in the dark, not knowing what's coming next. Be that as it may, we have persevered. Not just survived, but thrived. And that, parents, trustees, and colleagues, is the story of the 2021 school year. First, how did we get the job done? There's a joke in the independent school world that your faculty contract for the year invariably includes some version of You will perform other duties as assigned. It is the contracted catch-all for whatever comes up as any school year unfolds. Countless times throughout this year, our work has been filled with some rather unexpected other duties as assigned. We've taken temperatures, proctored extra study halls, hosted college Zoom meetings, given tech advice to parents and students at home, driven buses, taught kids on an iPad and in class at the same time, executed a virtual auction, picked up another class period or extra duty with little notice to cover for our colleagues, attended professional development with a pediatric epidemiologist, watched lower school on the playground to give teachers a little more prep time, wiped down desks and tables, served lunches out of coolers, raced after trash, blowing away from lunch on the breezeway, monitored mask breaks, refilled hand sanitizer stations, and chaperoned dances outside. Candace Torcha, our nurse extraordinaire, whom I cannot thank enough, and I have performed contact tracing and given too much or maybe not enough health advice, who knows? JT Mass, Pines Facilities Director, and his team had unending patience for setting up the campus to help us spread out, putting up shade sails, moving desks and tables, and cleaning. It's been a huge group effort all year long. Not surprisingly, other duties as assigned have taken a toll on us. Teaching and learning through a mask barrier is difficult. It makes the days feel a little longer. I offer this not to complain, but simply to honor the reality of this school year. I read an NPR article last weekend titled, "If your brain feels foggy and you're tired all the time, you're not alone." Thank goodness. Good to know. This headline gets at the heart of what I have tried to keep in mind and be sensitive to this past year. Weekly meetings with Pines School Counselor Heidi Kay have helped me remain tuned in to our collective emotions. The chronic underlying stress we have all experienced can't be denied. Whatever you might believe about COVID-19 or the way it has been handled in our local community, our country, and the world, the fact remains that we have all been impacted. Life as we used to know it changed. On a personal level, there are those in our Pines School community who got really sick or lost a loved one due to COVID-19. Some suffered incredible economic hardship and felt a huge life disruption. Others struggled to find childcare or attend to aging relatives. Even those fortunate enough to avoid major illness and remain financially stable had weddings, family reunions, and holidays canceled. Our connections with friends and relaxing social activities faltered as we anxiously awaited the pandemic's evolution and resolution. The struggles, big and small, for Pines School families, faculty, and staff, combined with the other duties as assigned, have made this a challenging time. We more than doubled our expense on substitute teachers compared to last year as teachers stepped away to care for themselves and others. Emotions ran high when they normally would not. Fatigue took over before we would typically expect it. And for me, I felt the foggy brain more often than I like to admit. Again, not for anything acute, but for the persistence of all we have overcome to keep our school open and running smoothly. But I digress. I mentioned before that Pine has not just survived, but in fact has thrived. And so now let's examine what we have still accomplished, even given these obstacles. We opened our campus when others did not. We adhered to careful policies in support of public health, and knock on wood, have not seen evidence of COVID-19 spreading on this campus. We played sports and held social gatherings and tried as best as we could to maintain and capture what is so special about our school environment. What I've seen play out over this year reminds me of other moments from the Pine School's long history. This is a community that rallies, that comes together and is stronger for difficulties that arise. I proudly offer that just as Pine has time and again, we rose to the challenge and did not lose our momentum during the 2021 year. Fiscally, the Pine School is becoming healthier and healthier. We've added 2 new funds to our endowment, in total almost $200,000 to support student scholarships. Our virtual auction exceeded its goal, and the annual fund, our night fund, is at 88% parent participation, with multiple alumni donating for the first time. Looking at another year of modest budgetary surplus, we are poised to plan for capital replenishment and replacement in a careful and prudent manner. Retention and enrollment are strong for the coming school year as Pine's local reputation continues to grow, and families move to the local communities. I expect we'll see our outgoing class of 45 seniors replaced in the fall with an incoming freshman class that size. We've engaged in digital marketing and worked even more diligently to establish Pine's brand and identity. I owe our success in these areas to the leadership of Robert Ankrum, John Boyer, Kelly Carlson, and Beth Lettengarver. Thank you so much. As for our capital campaign, the school has collected close to $1.5 million for our new building since I was before you at this time last year, in large part due to a very generous gift from the Texter family. Construction noise disrupted our days in the fall, but now we have an addition to our campus that connects seamlessly with our existing building. Throughout the year, John Boyer, trustees, and I hosted individual and small groups of parents to tour the building. Although fundraising for the new Arts and Athletics building is not complete, we are optimistic that through philanthropic support, the project will finish soon. Our students' experience will most certainly be enhanced by 3 more classrooms, a new art gallery, a permanent stage, 2 music rooms, technical theater space, an additional gym, and field seating. Programmatically, we continue to refine and define what makes a Pine School education stand out. I've been particularly proud to see our coordinated efforts to teach literacy and the way that that is extended through Jen McDonough's leadership from lower school into middle and upper school as well. From the Sunshine State Reading Challenge to the Battle of the Books, Pine School students are definitely reading. In fact, twice last week in Carline, I heard parents tell their children to put down their books and get out of the car. No matter the grade, students are mastering grammar and building their speaking and writing skills, learning to communicate in a way that will be invaluable to them in years to come. The Pine School has also solidified its commitment to environmental education this year by naming an environmental education coordinator, a position first held by Tessie Kerslake and now by Justine Hobbit, and also appointing Jackie Brownie into a full-time science teacher position for our youngest Knights. For our older students, Nat Osborne and Carolyn Bagaski, chairs of the history and science departments respectively, teamed up to offer a year-long interdisciplinary course focusing on Florida's environment and history. This course is now culminating in the construction of a Glades skiff. This vernacular South Florida boat was used by early 20th century settlers to navigate the wetlands and glades as they hunted for wading birds and gators. Students have been reading about these settlers and how they built a culture dependent on our steamy, fragile environment. Additionally, Daryl Martino's data science students surveyed our campus for invasive species and even proposed a plan for their removal. For the 8th year in a row, the Pine School was named a Green School of Excellence. We will likely host the Hope Sound Nature Center's summer camps on our campus as their site remains closed as it undergoes renovations. I hope this is the beginning of more local partnerships to come, from our recycled runway to environmental clubs and capstone projects to protect our earth. The Pine School might bleed blue and gold, but our heart is green. Technologically, the Pine School has improved our sophistication by leaps and bounds. Teachers and students seamlessly navigate Google Classroom, and we continue to leverage online resources to accentuate student learning. I said last year at this time, and will repeat now, that the way our faculty have grown professionally out of the necessity of teaching remotely has made us so much stronger. We're asking bigger questions about what we teach, how we teach it, why we teach it, and how we see evidence of learning. Even though we do not seek to prioritize remote learning, what we have gained as a faculty through the experience has undoubtedly enriched us and made us stronger in our craft. Paul Needham and Jorge Salas, we are in your debt for supporting our efforts in this area. Thank you. And to all the teachers who have adapted to teach in totally different ways, I am grateful for your willingness to keep learning yourselves. Now we might ask, where do we stand as we head into next year and beyond? We are in an extraordinary place. Strife and struggle can bring a community together. I feel that closeness now as this unusual year has made us realize what we value most and what is essential to our school. To that point, we are fortunate to have crafted our new mission statement amidst the turmoil, as it is, at its core, the distillation of what makes us the Pine School. I know we've got a great mission statement, unique to us, because we are already living it, yet it is appropriately lofty to help us grow as we set our priorities and craft our next strategic plan. To more carefully consider the mission statement our board chair Liza Hutchinson shared earlier, let's break it down a bit. The Pine School is an independent college preparatory school educating students in kindergarten through 12th grade. Establishing our school as such on one campus in 2015 defined the entirety of a Pine School education and opened up so many possibilities for how we can connect learning from kindergarten to grade 12. Identifying ourselves as college preparatory unites us in our goal to open more post-secondary options and doors for all of our students. This year, we've seen our seniors, counseled by Janet Pacifico through a highly atypical college application process, accepted to outstanding colleges, universities, and programs across the country. We promote academic, artistic, and athletic excellence in a close-knit learning environment that extends from our classroom to our expansive natural campus and beyond. The Pine School has made great use of its campus this year as we've spread outside. We'll host a year-end music concert tomorrow in the Breezeway. Dorothy Castle and Megan Alvarado have insisted that the show must go on. Beautiful student art hangs on our walls and now adorns some of our outside space. Our 7th graders just went snorkeling yesterday. Even when we needed to cancel our traditional off-campus education trips, we still committed to travel with our students and took grades 5 through 12 to camp because we believe time spent away from what is familiar is an integral part of education. Led by the schoolhouse team of Sean Carlson, Suzanne Carlino, Kelly Hilton Green, and Jonathan Tulliver, the pursuit of academic, athletic, and artistic excellence drives so many of our daily decisions at Pine and will continue to do so. The design and construction of our new Arts and Athletics building affirms that we will have the resources necessary for our students to excel. Our updated weight room will allow our new athletic director, Jeff Shirk, to build a strength and agility program to propel our athletes even farther. I'll also offer about this sentence that the term close-knit is here because of student input. In class discussions with me and Heidi Kay, students asked for more in our mission statement to identify how close and connected they feel. The term they use to describe the way they experience our classrooms and community, close-knit, is in our mission statement. Our challenging curriculum cultivates intellectual curiosity and honors each student's voice as we strive for inclusivity. This sentence will be our barometer. As we continually improve our pedagogy and evaluate opportunities for student leadership and inclusivity, we will listen to and for our students' voices and opinions. Pine School students are not shy and ask great questions. How can we engage and challenge them even more in the years to come? From a strong sense of community and connection, Pine School students become inspired and prepared to navigate a complex and changing world. Do they ever? Our alumni community is growing, and our graduates are doing great things. Without a doubt, as we have seen over the past year and then some, our world has changed and continues to change. With confidence, I will award the class of 2021 their diplomas in less than 2 weeks, and we at the Pine School will collectively send them on to navigate the new challenges that come their way. So now, armed with our new mission statement, bolstered by our DEIA statement and honor code, with 11 days left until we head into summer break, the metaphorical ride is slowing down and hopefully stopping for at least a week or two. I look forward to a summer that, although busy, will not be filled with unending planning for how to open a school amidst a pandemic. We'll start classes with confidence, and my team and I will spend June and July monitoring guidance from national and local public health agencies and consulting with medical professionals as we determine and then share the policies we will implement in the fall. In true Pine School fashion, I know we will not all agree about what is right and best, but we will listen to and respect each other. We will prioritize learning and community and connection, and will commit to come together once again to offer our students an exceptional education. Thank you for all of the support you have given me this year and for the trust you place in the Pine School. I am humbled and privileged to lead an amazing group of colleagues and to work with such a dedicated board of trustees. I am grateful, as always, for the patience and understanding I get from my husband Andrew, who is here tonight, and from our children JP and Nilla, as I commit to a career I love. As foggy as my brain might feel, and as wild as the ride has been, I wouldn't choose to be anywhere else. Have a great evening.